So today we will see marginal propensity to save. So we were going through the saving function. Saving function is the ratio between saving and income. Isn't it? So it is a function of what? Income. Both saving and consumption is the function of income because it depends on income. Our saving and our consumption both depends on income. So both are the function of income. So what is saving? It is the function of income. It is the relation between what and what? Income and saving. So in that case, you have seen the saving curve. Saving curve, the graphical representation you have seen. Okay, Niyati? Niyati, am I audible to you? Okay,
Yes,
yes. Niyati, what is the starting point of saving curve?
ma'am, 0.
Starting point of saving curve?
Starting
Letter,
from,
letter. Yeah,
ma'am, it is starting from negative.
yeah, that means below zero, you can say, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Start from the negative axis. What is the reason, Sandhya, it's starting from the negative axis? What is the reason? What is the reason?
Ma'am, due to this saving.
Yeah, due to this saving, or may you can say, or else due to this saving. Okay, your answer is correct. Or else what you can say, Shrestha? Why it is negative? Your saving is negative. Shrestha? Yesterday also you were not there when I asked the question. Yeah, Anurag, why the saving curve starts from negative?
Done because of autonomous consumption.
Yeah, because of autonomous consumption. Autonomous consumption means even though the income is zero, the consumption is there. That is why it starts from negative. Okay, that we have seen in very detail the graphical representation. What is how it the saving curve looks like? It does slope upward because of the positive relation between income and saving, and it starts from the negative axis just because of the autonomous consumption. Even though the income is zero, there is some consumption. That's why it is known as minus C bar. So average propensity to consume, can it be more than one? Average propensity to consume? Sorry, we are talking about saving. Sorry, we are talking about what? Average propensity to save. That is APS. I will say APS. That means average propensity to save. Can it be more than one? Naman, can it be more than one? Average propensity to save, can it be more than one? Is Naman there? Okay, Manvi. Manvi,
Yes, ma'am.
can it be more than one?
Yes, ma'am.
Can your saving be more than one?
Yes, ma'am.
That means your average propensity to save can be more than one, means one is the income. One means what? Your income. So your average propensity to save is one, means all the income what you are getting, you are saving it. Is it possible?
No,
Is it
ma'am.
possible?
No, ma'am.
It is not.
Not, ma'am. Ma'am, someone has to consume from his income, yeah, but saving can be more than consumption, but not more than one.
See, we are talking about propensity to save. My question is, can saving be more than income? Can saving be more than income?
No, ma'am.
It cannot be more than income. Even it cannot be equal to income also. Why it cannot be equal to income? Because whatever you get, you are saving it. That's not possible. We have to have some minimum consumption, isn't it? So the entire income we cannot save. The entire income, that is one. One means what? Your total income. That you cannot save. So average propensity to save cannot be one. It is not, I mean, it cannot be more than one also. So it cannot be one. How can it be more than one? Whatever income you are getting, you are consuming, it's okay. But whatever income you are getting, you are saving it, it is not possible because you have to consume it. So average propensity to save cannot be equal to one. And it cannot be more than one also. Whatever you are getting income, you are saving more than that. That's also not possible. You are saving more than your income. That's also not possible. So APS, you have seen APS can never be one or more than one. Okay. And APS can be, yeah, APS can be zero. Your saving can be zero. Whatever income you are getting, you are consuming it. That means what is your saving? Your saving is zero. What is APS? APS, average propensity to save. Suppose I am getting 50,000 rupees per month and I am consuming it, I am spending it for consumption purpose. What is my saving? My saving is zero. That means my APS can be zero. And I am getting 50,000 rupees per month. I am not using it. I'm not using it. I'm consuming all the money. That means I'm saving all the money. That is not possible. You are spending rupees 50,000 for the entire money. You cannot save. Your income is only one. One is, the national income is considered as one, or the income is considered as one. Their entire income cannot be saved, but the entire income can be consumed. So APS can be when the entire income is consumed. What is the saving? Saving is zero. When the entire income is consumed, the saving is zero. So APS can be zero. But APS cannot be one or more than one. What is the reason? Reason you should know. APS can never be one because entire income cannot be saved. You have to use it for consumption purpose. Why it cannot be more than one? You are saving more than your income. That is not possible. So because of that, it cannot be APS. We are talking about what? APS. That means saving. We are talking about saving. Saving cannot be more than one, or saving cannot be equal to one. Entire income you cannot save. More than income also you cannot save. But you are not saving at all. That's okay. Whatever you are getting, you are consuming. You are not a thrifty person. You are not like that habit, saving habit you don't have. So you are using it. So APS can be zero. So those are the properties of APS. That is average propensity to save. What is average propensity to save? It is, what is average propensity to save? Saving upon income. Average propensity to save is saving upon income. That means the relation between the saving and income is known as what? Average propensity to save. Now we will see marginal propensity to save. Okay, and keep in mind all the properties of APS. APS can never be one. APS can never be more than one. But APS can be zero. And APS can it be negative? Can APS be negative? You're saving negative. Is it possible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is possible. Your saving can be negative because you are spending more money than your income. You are borrowing. You are making use of your past accumulated saving and all this saving you are doing. So in that case, it can be negative. So please keep in mind the properties of APS. It can never be one or more than one, but it can be zero. You are not saving at all. You are consuming it. In that case, APS can be zero and it can be negative. Negative means can be less than 1. And another property, APS rises with increase in income. You know, as the income increases, what also increases? Your saving also increases. Now we will see MPS. What is MPS? marginal propensity to save. You will see marginal propensity to save. So you have already seen APC and MPC. That is marginal propensity to consume and average propensity to consume you have already seen. So there is nothing more or nothing new in marginal propensity to save. So we will see now marginal propensity to save. In between I will ask question. So what is MPS, Vikas? Vikas, what is MPS? What is written on the board here? Vikas, if you don't know the answer, you can say, I don't know. That's all. Naman, can you see the board? Naman, Soni, can you see the board?
Yes, ma'am.
What is written on the board?
MPS upon delta S upon delta Y.
MPS is equal to delta S upon delta Y. What do you mean by delta S? Change in saving. And what is delta Y? Change in income. It is just like you have studied APC and MPC. So here you have seen what is average propensity to save. Average propensity to save is saving upon income. So MPS means marginal propensity to save is change in saving upon change in income. You know what is marginal? Marginal means additional or change. Extra income, what do you do with the extra saving? When extra income happen, what do you do with that? How much of the extra income you save? That is what you will see here. And here in APS, how much of your total income you save? That's the relation. How much of your total income you save? That is known as APS. How much of your extra income, or you can call it incremental income. How much of your extra income you save? That is MPS. So MPS is how much of your additional income or extra income you save. That is delta S upon delta Y. That means change in saving upon change in income. When a change in income happens, how much is your saving will change. That is known as MPS. Yes? Is it clear? What is MPS? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Please respond when I ask question. So MPS means change in saving upon change in income. So if any addition in income happen, how much addition in saving is happening? That is known as MPS. Now my question, can MPS be 0? I'm writing here, MPS is equal to 0. That is, marginal propensity to save is equal to 0. Is it possible? MPS is equal to 0.
No, ma'am.
Is it possible?
No.
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am, it's not possible.
Yes, ma'am, it is possible.
Anybody else who says not possible? Priyanshu says it is not possible. And anybody else who think that it is not possible, please? MPS is equal to 0. I have written a statement here. Can it be possible? Priyanshu said it is not possible. Somebody else, if you feel that it is not possible, please speak.
Ma'am, it is not possible.
Niyati says it is not possible.
Ma'am, it is possible, ma'am.
Okay. See, let us see how is it possible and how it is not possible. What is marginal propensity to save? Your income is changing. What does it mean? What this particular statement means? Your income has changed and you have not saved it. Yes or no? MPS is equal to 0 means your income has increased. Suppose I was getting a salary of rupees 50,000 the previous month. Now this month I got an addition of 2,000. Suppose that means this is known as by change in income. Is it correct? This 2,000 is known as delta Y. This is my change in income. This is delta y. This is my change in income. This is my income and this is my change in income. So delta y is this. That means my additional. So M marginal always means every addition. What is in the change? What is the change? So here, what is my change in income? It is 2000. It is my wish. I will save it or I will use it. It is my wish. I can spend 52,000. This till the last month, I was using 50,000. This month I am using, total I am spending 52,000. It's my wish. So in that case, if I am spending full 52,000, what is my saving? If I am spending 52,000 in full, what is my saving? My saving is 0. Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
chalega. Okay, so if the full 52,000 extra income what I got, I'm not saving it, I'm consuming that also. In that case, it is 0. Your saving is 0. That means your marginal propensity to save can be 0. It is my wish. My additional income, I will save or I will spend. So if I'm spending all my money, additional income, whatever I got, if I am spending it, my saving is 0. In that case, my MPS is 0. So it can be 0. Can it be 1? Okay. Another statement, MPS is equal to 1. Can MPS be 1? I need
Yes, ma'am.
answer. Okay, only one answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. How? See,
Yes, ma'am.
I was getting 50,000 and now I am getting 2,000 more. This 2,000 I am not at all using. So, okay, I'm not spending. This 2,000 as such I am saving. I'm not at all touching this 2,000 for consumption or spending purpose. I'm saving it. So in that case, this full money 2,000, I am saving it. In that case, my MPS, my saving can be, my additional income is 1. So the full money I'm saving, so it can be 1. It can be equal to 1. That means MPS is equal to 1 also. So MPS varies between 0 and 1. So you can arrive at a conclusion that MPS vary between 0 and 1. If I am not at all using it, you not at all saving it, it is MPS is 0. I'm not at all saving the money, full money I'm spending, my MPS will be 0. And I'm saving all the money, the full 2,000 I'm saving, then my MPS will be 1. So if I'm saving something in between, 500 I am saving or 1,000 I am saving, 1,500 I am saving, it will come in between. That is why it is known as MPS. It is said the properties MPS varies between 0 to 1. I think it is clear to you. MPS varies between 0 and 1. You should understand when it is 0 and when it is 1. Okay. Now we will see how graphically we will see MPS. It is the line is same. You have the x-axis, have the y-axis. Sorry, have the y-axis here. Have the x-axis. It is a saving function. That means the relation between income and savings. So income savings you will write in the y-axis. And you know it starts from, this is 0. Start from below. An upward sloping curve. This is our saving curve. Okay, I will put SS. This is our saving curve. And you know, OS is the saving, or you can say minus C bar. Because of autonomous consumption, this is happening. The same amount. If we start from here, the same amount of the saving will come. This is the saving, and from here our saving start. And this is the break-even point because saving is 0 here. In this particular case, your saving becomes 0. From here, your saving start because your income increases, saving also increases. It's not less proportionate, but so this is your saving curve. And yesterday you have seen the APS, that means average propensity to save. Yesterday we have discussed how you have seen APS. Take any point here, any point in the saving curve, match it to the y-axis. That means match it to the saving. What is here? Saving. Match to the y-axis, match to the x-axis. So I have matched it to the savings and income. And here it is, give the letter y1. This limit is, no numericals is given. Graphically, we are presenting it. Okay. So I have given the letter y1 here. And here I am giving the letter r. So in this case, see, this is APS. We are not, I have not drawn now MPS. We are in APS now. What is APS? APS means saving upon income. What is your saving in this case? This is your saving, isn't it? O2R. What is your saving? O2R. What's your income? O2Y1. So what will be APS? OR upon OY1. So APS is equal to OR upon OY1. So this is what yesterday we have seen in connection with what? In connection with APS. Look at the graph for a second. Understand what is the saving? In this particular case, take any point. At this point, what is the saving? O to R, this. And in this case, what is the income? O to Y1. O to Y1. This is the income. This is. So your APS is equal to saving upon income, OR, OY1. Now let us see what is MPS. Now let us see what is MPS. So we will come to MPS now. I am going to rub this APS. APS, I hope you understood very clearly, because yesterday also we have seen in detail. Now we will see MPS. See, I'm rubbing it here because otherwise I have to plot one more graph. Okay. MPS. What is MPS? MPS means, yeah, somebody, what is the equation? Change in
Saving upon change in income.
Yeah, very good. Change in saving upon change in income. Change means now it is here, somewhere else. Okay, we'll take another point here. So change always means here we are talking about only one point. Now change. It has changed from here. Take another point. And this point you join to saving, that is y-axis, and join to income. So this is the another point. That means the changed point. This is the change point. Okay. Y1, I will write Y2 here. That means income Y1 say Y2 ho gaya. Or saving, I will change here R say P ho gaya. So what is the change in saving here? RP. Or you can say order mein, not RP, PR. You can say PR. What is the change in saving here? PR. What is the change in income here? Y1 to Y2. Y1 to Y2. So first you draw the average, that is APS, average propensity to consume, that is any point. Take any point and show the change from that point. Show the change from that point and write another letter here. Another letter, as it is R, I wrote P here. And as it is Y1, it is income, I wrote Y2. If it is changing Y3, Y4 like that, because it is denote income. Okay. So normally we denote it with Y. That is why Y1, Y2 like that it goes. So what is the change in income in this case? Y1 to Y2. So change in income, you will write Y1 to Y2. And what is the change in saving? Change in saving is RP, this much. If a number is there, you will write 150 here and 250 here, you will write 100. So here it is not number, it is letter. So you will write what? PR. So you will write PR here. So this is MPS. That means change in saving upon change in income. PR upon Y1, Y2. So this is the graphical representation of what? MPS, that is marginal propensity to save. So if average propensity to save is asked, only this one you have to make. Only 1 point. And if marginal means additional, what happens if a change comes? If the income is changed, what happens? That's why we have made a change here, okay? A change, or it has increased to P. Y1, it has increased to Y2. So the change is only this much. The change is only this much. That means PR. And here the change is only this much because only the additional increment we will take. Only the increment. So Y1, Y2, PR upon Y1, Y2. This is MPS. And this is a graphical representation of what? This is a graphical representation of marginal propensity to save. So look at the board. Understand how it is being drawn. And this also an upward sloping curve because as the income increases, saving increases. And another, if only one property you have to, if you have to write two properties, you can write. The first property you have already seen, it varies between 0 and 1. Know the reason also why it is varying between, why when it is 0, when it is 1, when it is between 0 and 1. Understand the context also. Then the next property you can say it is upward sloping because as the income increases, saving also increases. So that is marginal propensity to save. So you have seen average propensity to save and marginal propensity to save. So what are the difference between APS and MPS? What is average propensity to save? It is the ratio between saving and income. It is the main APS and MPS. What are the differences? APS and MPS. What is APS? It is the ratio between saving and income. And this is the ratio between change in saving and change in income. This is the difference. Then, the values are also different. How the values can be different? APS can be less than 0 when there is dissaving. That means APS can be less than 0 or negative. But MPS cannot be negative. Why? In the case of APS, what is applicable? Autonomous consumption. Without income, you consume something that will come under APS. But what is MPS? You have some increase in what? Increase in income. How does it affect your saving? That either you will consume or you will save. So it varies between 0 to 1, but it is not negative. MPS cannot be negative because either you will save the entire income or you will consume your entire income. If you consume your entire income, saving is 0. If you save your entire income, it is 1. Otherwise, a value between this will come. So remember, APS can be negative. Why APS is negative? Dissaving. Because of dissaving. But here we are strictly talking about what you do with the increased income. MPS strictly talk about what you do with the increased income. Increased income is either consumed or either saved or consumed. That's why it varies between 0 to 1. So these are the difference between, and the formula is also different. You have seen S upon Y and delta S upon delta Y. Okay, and in APS we discuss about the relation between saving and income. But yeah, one more change you can write. In APS we talk about the change between the relation between S and Y, isn't it? And here we talk about the relation between BS plus the relation between what? Change in saving and change in income. So these are the differences. Okay, Priyanshu, I will come to you. So, These are the difference between APS and what? APS and MPS, average propensity to save and marginal propensity to save. So that is what we have seen. Now, I'm writing a formula here. This you know, income is equal to C plus S. What is this? What is this?
Consumption and saving.
Consumption plus saving. That means the total income is either consumed or saved. Okay, y is equal to C plus S. And if I divide the whole thing by y, that is income, to make a formula, this also y, this also y, and this also y. So here you can write it like, what is C by y? What is consumption upon income?
Average propensity to consume.
Consume. Dekho, consumption on the numerator. What is consumption upon income? Average propensity to consume. What is saving upon income? What is saving upon income? Average propensity to
Save.
save. So what is APC? Consumption upon income. What is APS? Saving upon income, because it's a function of income. It's a function of income. Consumption upon income is APC and saving upon income is APS. And this Y and Y get cancelled. You can write 1. That means 1 is equal to APC plus APS. That means simply you can say consumption plus saving is equal to income. And income, we are taking it as 1. 1 means here full. 1 here means what? The whole number, the full, complete. Okay, 1 is equal to APC plus APS means the whole income, that is 1, is equal to consumption plus saving. And you know consumption function is APC, how much you consume. Consumption function C upon Y. And how much you save, saving upon income. That is why this is the very important formula. 1 is equal to APC plus. So as Y is equal to C plus S, you can also write 1 is equal to APC, average propensity to consume, plus average propensity to save is equal to income, that is 1. So keep in mind this formula, but APC plus APS is equal to 1. So 1 is equal to APC plus APS. So what is APS? What is APS?
1 minus APC.
Yeah, 1 minus APC. 1 minus APC. What is APC? 1 minus APS. 1 minus APS. Please remember these relation. This is for, we have to solve any problems on the basis of this. So from the basic thing you have come to all this conclusion. What was the basic? Y is equal to C plus S. The income is equal to consumption plus saving. The total income is either consumed or saved. From that basic fact, we have came to all these conclusions. Why, if income is 1, then it is equal to average propensity to consume plus average propensity to save. So if 1 is equal to APC plus APS, APS is equal to 1 minus APC, and AP, what is this? APS. And APC is equal to, here it is C, okay? Sorry. APC is equal to 1 minus APS. Look at the board. I hope it is clear. So what is MPS? MPS, repeatedly I am saying, we talk about only the addition in income. And in this case, addition in income we take as 1. There, the total income we take as 1. And here, additional income we take as 1. So the additional income, you know, either it is consumed or saved. Is MPC or MPS. So the additional income is either consumed or saved. So 1 is equal to MPC plus MPS. So this is the additional income, can be either saved or consumed. So here additional income 1 is equal to MPC plus MPS. This is another formula. So what is MPC? You know what is MPC? MPC is change in saving, change in consumption upon change in income. What is MPS? Change in saving upon change in income. 1 is equal to MPC plus MPS. So if you put the formula like, upon Y and cancel it, you will get 1 is equal to MPC plus MPS. So what is MPC? 1 minus MPS. 1 minus MPS. What is MPS? 1 minus MPC. 1 minus MPC. Look at the board for a minute. Just start from the second line. 1 is equal to, that means total additional income, that is 1, is equal to, we are talking about the marginal propensity. That is why consumption plus saving. So here also 1 is equal to consumption plus saving. So as we are talking about marginal one, it is MPC and MPS. As in the case of there, it was APC plus APS. Here it is, as we are talking about MPC, but marginal, it is equal to MPC plus MPS. So MPC is equal to 1 minus MPS and MPS is equal to 1 minus MPC. If you know the basic, like 1 is equal to MPC plus MPS and 1 is equal to APC plus APS, rest all the formula, you can. Look at the board.